So after some consideration and looking at my reference, I've decided to go with cream as my second light. Not my brightest bright, that'll be white, but cream instead of that French gray. And so my new value scale has reflected that. I'm using the cream and the white in my brightest areas. And I think you can see just in the initial application, it's pretty strong. So I'm going in between. I'm definitely not going over those dark umbers and those blacks that I've already put in there. I'm creating texture as I go. And there may be a little bit of brown up here, but I'm not going to push it. I might just put a little tiny bit in. It's curving back into a darker area. Small circular strokes, that's what this kind of texture calls for. There's areas in here where I could use more of hatching, cross hatching, say to develop the teeth. And down, when I come down a little farther, I could probably combine the techniques a little bit more, but I want to create that texture, and this is a great way to do it. So moving around, this is probably about an hour's worth of work so far, just in this area. Still the cream pencil, just the cream. I'm going to save the white for the very, very end. Working around, just around, and starting to come down into the lower jaw, the mandible. It's very bright, but what I'm doing everywhere, all over, is just these circular strokes without any kind of pressure, without any kind of burnishing, and laying in my texture and a soft value, not the strongest value that I see in my reference, because after I'm done with this wash, let's call it, of medium pressure, soft to medium pressure of the cream, I can come back in and burnish where I need to. So pretty much done with the cream colored pencil in this area. I'm going to add whites to finish, but before I do that, there's some detail that I can put in here. That's not something that I can do at the very beginning, but there's a lot of little pits and texture that I can now come in and add pretty easily. I've left little paper areas, just nothing but paper surface around, just to remind me to stay away from there. I can also strengthen some of the core shadows at the same time. But it's all about detail now. Okay, so tight. And when I get that finished, I can come back in with white. And a couple more things that I did here with the background. Like I said, I wanted to fade the background out right about here, so that this is, I'm implying this is ground plane getting the light. So a little tiny bit of cast shadow directly underneath the edge, and my cast shadow is going to come out in this direction, slight angle but fairly flat. Okay, so the addition of white pencil to finish this off, and it's going to be an addition to the cream. It's going to be built on top of the cream. It's probably not going to go basically anywhere else that the cream isn't already. I'm just accenting that cream. I think you can see the difference right away. So that means I don't want to overdo it, especially at the beginning. So I'll go through this slowly. So I think you can see how I can come in with the white now and just really get some nice buildup of value and also detail. So that'll pretty much wrap this up. I'd love to continue working with this. I was hoping to get a little bit more done, but right now this probably took me about 4 hours. So if you can extrapolate and say, if that's 4 hours, here's another 4 hours over here, maybe 3 more hours here, 2 hours of the background, adds up to about 12 to 15 hours at least. So I like some areas that came out. I love the way that this is, this shadow area along the nasal bone. Felt like that came out pretty well. A lot of this is paper surface with a little bit of dark umber, a little bit, just a little over it, and some black for the core shadow. Everything was put in very softly in those shadow areas. Some reflected light. Be careful of those areas. Those are the ones that I'd save until probably the very end. Okay, so good luck with that. Hope this was helpful, and I can't wait to see what you guys do with these skulls.